Food for thought. Many important nerves are found around the area of the mouth and the lips. They also interlink with the tongue. Why were these various nerves not tied down with the knees? This is a simple scientific question and a simple scientific answer. Your thinking pattern is based on what you normally put in the mouth and put out the mouth. What you put in the mouth and then what you put out the mouth. How you talk, how you speak. What you put in the mouth and what you put out the mouth. Your thinking pattern is based on that input and output. You are what you eat. If you speak the higher vibrational kind of patterns, the mantra, your thinking patterns will become divine. Anybody experiencing that? More divine than they were? One person. All right, it worked for one person. Two. We got two. We got three. Anybody? All right. No. We just got two. Okay, if you speak the word of the divine, your thinking patterns become divine. So these nerves, by the movement of the tongue itself, create the pattern of the brain function. Good to know. Thought patterns. Sometimes you find some sort of overgrowth or dis-ease in the physical body. That is only, that malfunction in your body is a malfunction in the rest of your 9 bodies. So when you find a malfunction in the physical body, there's a malfunction in all 10 bodies. Your body is so systematic and so accurate that it compensates for everything you do. It's constantly compensating for everything you do. I mean, we're so lucky. It's really both one of the most humbling things and one of the greatest privileges to be in human form. Its function is a triple function, your body. If one fails, the others of the bodies take over the action, and then the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. He's also talking about the triple action of the 3 nervous systems. So we'll say the nervous system functions, it's a triple function. If one part of your nervous system fails, the others take over the action of the other 2 nervous systems, sympathetic, parasympathetic. Now you ask, what is the problem? The problem is restlessness. We are not successful because we use so much energy for thought patterns that there is nothing left for intuition and there's nothing left for healing. So the body will, the 10 bodies, the system's so complete and accurate that the body will heal itself. But if all the energy of the body is being taken towards malfunctioning of the thought patterns, we'll call that neurosis or phobias or fears or other types of things like that. So if the bodies are so kind of depleted from the expensive energy, the wastage of energy, then the bodies can't go into that natural self-healing process. And what we're working with this week is that creating a space where that the bodies can start to go into that natural self-healing process. So there's nothing left for your intuition if all the thought patterns of the kind of neurotic thought patterns are wasting all of your energy. There is an X amount of brain, and if you're going to use it for thinking all the time, then you have nothing left for experience. Have you noticed that? There is an X amount of brain. And if you're going to use it for thinking all the time, then you have nothing left for experience. First, before thinking, you should think why you are thinking and whether it's worth thinking or not. Each moment lost is lost. Each moment gained is gained. If you have lost that moment in thinking, you have lost in thought. If you have lost it in experiencing, you have lost that experience. I'll keep going here because this is very good. There's a fad diet in the USA. They call it carbohydrate free. For God's sakes, just never do that. It is the product of some mad head that you should have no carbohydrates. And I'll tell you, people who are in these more the ketotic states who are eating a lot of meat and over protein and stuff, there is a certain consciousness that comes with that. Now, again, input, output. A carbohydrate-free diet will make you insane and brainless. Carbohydrates turn into glucose, which is fuel for the brain. It's very essential. And then he goes on to talk about some other things. But Yogi Bhajan said that your ability to process carbohydrates has your metabolism's ability to process, within reason, some, healthy carbohydrates. There's something called a superstarch, which is rice. One of the superstarches are rice, basically cooled down a little bit. White basmati rice cooled down a little bit so you're not eating it hot. So this is the whole kind of function of the mung beans and rice. And this is why a lot of people find that when they eat their mung beans and rice, they lose a lot of weight, which wouldn't make any sense in the realm of the, ketosis and the grain-free kind of realm. But when the rice is kind of cooled down a little bit, what happens is that glucose, that starch, is very, very functional for the body and very easy for the body to use, and it lasts a long time. So there's something about the particular kind of amino acid chains and the particular kind of way that starch functions. And there's a couple other types of starch like this, but particular white basmati rice cooled down is one of these, which is part of the Yogi Bhajan gives a weight loss. Some of his weight loss diets are really like anti what we would think. One of them we gave in this Nourish. Did we put the jalapeno pancake? Yeah. He said that even the skinniest people will get skinnier eating this jalapeno pancake, and it's wheat. It's wheat bran, right? It's wheat bran and then jalapenos and what else is in there? I mean, it's basically it. And you make two big pancakes and you eat one, one meal and one at another meal. And some of his other kind of weight loss programs are just eating basmati rice. So that's one of them. And then the mung beans and rice is a complete protein with this starch that really takes you through the day. And some of you who are eating this, you may find that, first of all, you can only eat the proper amount. Ayurvedically, you only want to eat about this much at a sitting. So a fist of food. And that's your stomach. That means you wouldn't be stretching the stomach. So, even like a little bit less than a fist of food. So if you eat those mung beans and rice, I mean, I don't know anyone who can really eat more than that. I mean, it's really a complete food. It's very filling. And then it keeps you full for a long, 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 long time. So it's very, effective and simple. Yogi Bhajan was really into these mono diets. And there is something so healing. If you are, I come from... we were Catholic raw foodists in my 20s, me and my ex-husband, to the point where it was like if we had miso soup, it was like on our knees confessing the next day, if you had anything warm whatsoever. And it was really intense. We were really hardcore raw foodists. And what I've come to find in my own study of nutrition is there's a certain kind of in constitution. So we're working to balance adaptogenically your particular constitution, which you're made of stardust. So you're very complex. So you're very unique, and balancing your particular constitutional makeup is a unique self-exploration. And the way that you know that it starts to balance is that the mental energy as well as the physical energy starts to come into a much more productive space. So a lot of the kind of restlessness of the mind or the lethargy of the body or the kind of these types types of conditions we find ourselves in terms of creating inertia one way or the other in our lives, which make us, feel either good or not so good. If you're too restless mentally or physically, you don't feel peaceful. If you're too lethargic or too kind of spacey or whatever, all these kind of things, it makes you less functional, makes you less happy, basically. I'll use that word, which it just, you don't feel in balance. So we're looking for, we're kind of heat-seeking missile, a place adaptogenically that is very unique to you, that is a space of this kind of guna balancing, and we'll use that word guna. It's the closest thing that we have in our system to describe kind of what in Ayurveda they call your dosha, which is your constitutional kind of homeostasis, where the mind is settled, the body is active yet peaceful, the nervous systems are strong, the metabolism is strong, the digestion is really fired up, but the mind isn't too fired up. So a lot of with the pittas the pittas among us, you should have seen me for the past 2 hours, like screaming at my house. I was like, I don't think I can do fists of anger this many times. For the pitta heads among us, you're looking for whoever. Usually redheads have a little bit of this, but the fiery ones among us, you're looking for a cooling of the heat. Some of us need a little bit more because we're too lethargic. So all of us, we're working on that adaptogenic. Some of us, the mind is too restless and spacey, so we need the grounding. So everything we're doing this week is to adaptogenically kind of produce an effect where there's a space in you that's very, very active and intuitive, but at the same time peaceful. And all 10 bodies resonate at that vibrational frequency. So that's basically, I'm speaking the intention of this process that we're going through together this week.